How does atmospheric water generation technology work?
And water evaporates every day from all our oceans, seas, and lakes. When it goes to a certain height above a certain point, it goes below dew point and becomes a cloud. And then, of course, the wind blows that cloud. When it comes below the dew point, it becomes rain and changes state again.
We're not reinventing the wheel, all right? At the moment, there's two, would you consider the mix, two methods really of obtaining water from the air. One is through the use of a medium, so like a mesh or a desiccant that you put through the air, and it basically either absorbs it or forces the condensation through that. And the other one is basically lowering the temperature of the air to the dew point so that the water naturally condenses.
The technology there can create water anywhere because the technology is used in such a way it creates heating and cooling creates condensation. So whether it's in Devil's Valley in Nevada or in the Sahara Desert, we can still make water there. So we can make water anywhere on the planet.
The way the machine is designed, the air that comes into the machine is filtered to start with. The moisture is condensed out of the moisture that's in the air. So the only thing that the machine is seeking is the H2O molecule, which is smaller than a piece of microplastic. The filtration strips everything off. Then, yet again, when it goes into the tank, before it comes out to the consumer or the people who use the water, it goes through another large section of carbon filtration laced with silver, so that it not only doesn't impede the growth of bacteria, but it strips off anything else that's in the water. It's an incredible process.
Can atmospheric water generation technology cause harm to the environment or disrupt the atmospheric balance?
It will have some environmental impact, a positive impact, because when we process ambient air, we filter it from dirty stuff as well. For example, smog and flue gases and all, and sand and everything that flies around in the air, really. And so that's one impact we have. When it comes to the water content in ambient air or in the atmosphere, as I mentioned previously, there's absolutely no way of extracting or disturbing the natural balance of the atmosphere, because it's simply too big and it's too powerful. And even if we would create an awesome, enormous machine, constantly sucking water out of the atmosphere, it would immediately, with its other hand, snatching water back from, the Pacific or the nearest water.
Agree. It is a big thing when you are using atmospheric water generator in each home. Then you will not ever use these plastic bottles. So by using the atmospheric water generator, we are seeing that we will solve the water issue. We will reduce the footprint that is from the plastic industry. We will reduce the carbon footprint from the transportation, and we will help the environment to return to the natural cycle.
Some scientists calculated that for every degree of increase in the atmosphere, its water content increases by about 7% or something like that. So there's absolutely no worry that we will ever run out of water in the atmosphere. So it's a completely super sustainable system, and it's much faster than groundwater extraction, for example, because that takes years to refill because the water has to trickle down. But when it comes to the atmosphere, it can, the atmosphere is in immediate contact with, the Earth's surface, so it can extract any water it likes.
Atmospheric water generators extract excess moisture from the atmosphere, which accumulates due to the rising temperatures on the planet. During the air intake process, pollutants are filtered out, resulting in cleaner air. AWG technology is environmentally friendly and beneficial for the planet. Can AWG technology produce water in the required amount?
Even if 8 billion people take 100 liters of water from the moisture, there will be enough evaporation to refill that. And this is what we should be looking to doing. And it is clean, right? And it is available everywhere to everyone. And so I think suddenly the world has woken up to this alternate source.
I designed and developed the technology to a place where I can build an atmospheric water generator that could produce over 100,000 liters a day, 200,000 liters a day. It's not difficult anymore. You just have to think about it long enough. So my goal with this technology is to allow people to be able to live wherever they would like to live and never have to worry about water scarcity. Because as long as you can breathe, as long as you're pulling in air, there is moisture in that air.
We've created larger systems to where if you wanted to, you can make thousands of gallons per day, but you're just using that much more power to where it comes a conversation of, okay, do we want to have a higher CapEx for buying more machines or a higher OpEx to keep them running?
Atmospheric water generators can produce any required amount of water, including for industrial needs.
It seems every country are running their natural water sources to the max right now, and everybody has their industries and economies sort of adapted to the water table that they had 20, 30 years ago. And now it's shifted for everyone, basically.
But actually, the biggest problem with water is the lack of water for irrigation. Around 70% is used for growing crops, is used for food production, right? And that is a massive impact. If you can't provide water for those industries, forget about being able to take a shower. You won't be able to eat. You won't be able to generate enough food for your industries. And I think that's going to have a very severe impact in the lives of a lot of people in developed countries.
I'm sure now in California, so many farmers are contemplating suicide because of their livelihood just being gone because water is not available, right? So extreme conditions like that will one way motivate people to make a change. Because if I went to a farmer who's lost his livelihood in California and say, hey, listen, why don't I help you build a greenhouse, do hydroponics, and I'll give you water from air. And you should be able to rebuild your business.
What are the prospects for the application of AWG units? AWG technology can revolutionize the existing principles of agriculture and become a necessary element in almost all production cycles. How will AWG technology help people in the period of global climate change?
So if we're talking about water scarcity, or if somebody's passion may be in something like climate change, or even for how can we better take care of people in a disaster scenario? You think about a hurricane coming through and causing an unexpected issue in whichever area that may be. Typically, hurricanes occur in very warm, very humid environments. Well, whenever you have a disrupted supply chain and water logistics, you need to have an immediate answer ready to go. And that's what some of our options are able to provide. That you can either with your own power source or with some built-in options that we've created as well, that you can turn on the machine, start making water, and have the most important life source available at the ready on demand. And that is something that we absolutely have taken to heart a lot and developed quite a few options for. But AWG has a massive place in disaster relief and emergency aid.
Atmospheric water generators not only can meet people's needs for fresh water, but also ensure water security during periods of global climate change. What are the prospects for the development of AWG units?
Well, as I say, it's an emerging technology. It's not bottomed out. The industry will, depending on political change, depending on political barriers, the industry will grow over the next 15 years to an important part of our society. It will happen without a doubt. You know, there's no stopping it.
And instead of working separately and trying to undermine each other, we need to work together because it's a global problem. And that's just one of the problems that we have today is we tend to work more towards the profit instead of the human profit. And that's one thing I concentrate on. I concentrate on the human profit. And whatever years I have left of my life, that's what I do.
AWG being air water generators. And you're right, it wasn't talked about till even as late as last year, right? People were still saying, hey, what does that mean? Really, are you saying you can get water from air? And suddenly the whole world has woken up to this, saying, wow, this is a non-depletable source.
So, dear descendants, you have been presented with a technology that will allow you to launch a planetary air conditioner. At first glance, the idea might seem quite unexpected. Let's figure out what conditions are necessary to activate it at full power.